Hello, my name is Dr. George Mochocki, and I want to welcome you again to Management 111, Introduction to Business, in an Adult Fast Track program, section F43. You already received a bio on me. I know Maggie sent that to you, and you already received my syllabi. So what I'm going to do in this, instead of going through the syllabi first, I'm going to go into the course management system. Blackboard Collaborate is the course management system that we'll be utilizing for your exams, and it's going to be your focal point, where it'll be your meeting place on here. So you're going to go into your Blackboard, what do you call it, shell. You go into student portal at Harper, and then you'll find Blackboard, and you click on there and you log in there. You're going to find your class, and here it is, Management 111, Introduction to Business, Spring 21. It's not available. It'll be available in a couple of days because we have an orientation, if I'm mistaken. It's this Wednesday. This class meets every Wednesday. There's a virtual classroom requirement from 6 to 10 o'clock. After the COVID-19, I think we go back, whatever that ends, we go back into our regular thing. So I think this class is every Wednesday from 6 to 10 o'clock. So keep that time frame always open until you receive. I think this course here, you're attempting to receive, and you will receive your HR certificate. Hopefully, after you receive that, you may want to go on and get the associate from Harper in HR. Okay, so you're going to click on this. The course will be available for you, and then you know you're in the right course. You have my smiley face, you have the book and everything else. I may update the picture. It's been a couple of years since I've done that, but it's there. Okay, so you have everything on here. Now when you come in here, I wanted you to explore. This will be open, just play around. You have the online orientation. This is where you're going to click on here, and you're going to basically see this video. You're going to have my syllabi that you already had on here. Is in a PDF file. You could reprint it. What I want you to be familiar with the syllabi, at the end it'll have like 2.11.21. That's the most current version. And sometimes I may find some errors, so I'll do some adjustment. Here's your course materials. You'll get some information on that. Remember, click on it. Faculty information. You'll have my bio, and also the video that you already Maggie sent to you. Okay. Now I have these are by heading. So when you see here, this doesn't do nothing. It's just a subtitle. It's such a weekly requirement. What you have to do, I always want you to check your calendar. So if you click on your calendar, I just go into your live, and you can see what you have. Right now I don't have anything in here set up for this course, but I'm teaching another class, for lack of better words, another class. So, but you could set up which classes you have. So set up your class. Right now you only have the one class here set up, so you know when everything is due. Utilize the calendar. Always check your grades. If you look at your grades, there's nothing in here because we haven't done any assignments because the class isn't open yet. But then you always have a running percentage total when you look at the syllabi, and you always have a running grade. So when you come into, if you always see I'm at an A this week. Next week I may be at a B because I forgot to do some homework. But that could go up and down. We'll talk about some of my policies on late homework to get you back into the school mode. And late homework is no different than if you're going for HR, or most of you are in business already. It's some form of business or no business. Those are the due dates. You know, I've got Comcast going to be working on my cable, and they said we will be from this time. Otherwise, you get the service or something free. So everything is by the due date. Remember, business is driven by when I promise the customer something. In this case, when you promise your supervisor or your instructor something. All right. So look at your grades, and you always see your grade on them. All right. Now, the other thing you have your weekly assignments. If I'm looking on here, I do one-stop shopping, especially for, because I teach sometimes just fully online. All right, so I do the one-stop shopping, weekly discussions. My lab, this is where you're going to be doing your homework assignments, and then and your quizzes and everything else. That's through the Mind Lab access code, and that's for lack of better words, is Pearson's website. So it's going to take you from there. It's going to go to Pearson's website. You do your homework, your assignments, and everything, and then they'll bring the grades back into Blackboard. So you're going back and forth on that, just to be familiar. Your virtual groups. Part of this class is the cohort. You're to come together as a group. I understand because of COVID-19, we're now doing a virtual meeting. So when we have our virtual classes from Wednesdays from 6 to 8 o'clock, you'll come in there and you'll meet your classmates. We will do a virtual team to get you working together. Depends how many groups, depends how many people I have in the class. I don't know right now, so that's flexible, but you will work in some kind of a group setting. Similar to simulate what you will be doing in business. In business, I may not be in a class meeting my clients, but I'm in a virtual meeting. I'm in here. So this is a good opportunity to see how I present myself in a virtual with a camera looking at me, my background, and seeing everything else. This is a good learning. How do I come across? You know how to come across inside a face-to-face meeting. Here's how I just sit, I look at this way. How do I come across, look good in a virtual meeting? So this will work out. That's just added benefit out of this class, okay? Now you also have your Canvas project. I want you to click on there. I have YouTubes in there. I have YouTubes in there because it has a closed caption on there. When you click on your Canvas project, it'll tell you what you're going to be doing. Now some of the projects are done individually, some of them are group. Here we'll be doing it as a group. So the points may change, but the project is the same. It's basically starting off a business from scratch. And usually don't think of a large business as small business. What could I start off? I think you have each, it depends on the number of groups, $50,000 seed money. So if you have three in a group, it's $150,000. That's not much, but it's enough if you're doing something, if you're doing using some social or what do you call it, e-marketing outside or e-commerce. Basically, that's what Amazon is. Face-to-face and also e-commerce. So you'll learn that, all right? Now, what you also will have in here is my, I'm trying to keep this under 10 minutes. You also have my chapter lectures. I have a lecture. The publisher has their own PowerPoints and lectures also that you'll learn through my lab. That's where you're going to be accessing. But I also have YouTube lectures, how I, some of my lectures. You click on here, and I try to keep them on there. Some of them are like 6 minutes, some of them are 49 minutes. Remember, you could stop and go. I use concept maps, and you will be available to concept. So they're all available to you. All right. If you need the closed caption because you need some accommodation, or even like me, I hear, I talk fastly, you could have the closed caption with YouTube. It's almost 99% accurate except for my name, but don't worry about that. I try to avoid my name in a lot of my YouTube lectures, all right? So you have all the chapters, you could read that. So the way to be successful in this class, okay, so let me go. So these are your resources. Okay, where am I at here? Students, okay. Now the other thing I provide you is my concept maps. Now I look through concept maps. So these are student concept maps. These are some old ones. These are some of the new ones because I've been updating them. All right, so I got them. Most of the updated. When I say updated, it's because the author, it's the same book I've taught before. It's just that I have the newer version. That's what you have on there. So some of the data is different. The concepts don't change. Okay, so if you're looking at it, but let's see. So you're going to click on here, and I have all these in a PDF file. So if you click on here, what it basically does, and it depends how you have it. If you have a Mac, you may have a file guy clicking on here. It gives you your vocab, everything you needed. So I would print this out, and I give you some information. If you notice the pluses, that means there's more information. You could pick that off of my lectures. I'll have it on there. So what this does, you could print this out, right, and then you could write in where you need stuff to do. So private. What does it mean by private? In your own words. Don't write paragraphs. Remember, the reason for concept maps, when you're trying to remember a lot of data, and this is an intro class, it's basically learning new vocabulary or concepts. So you already hear the vocabulary concept, is just reinforcing them, okay? But you could write it in. So the more senses you utilize, the higher probability you'll be able to bring it from short-term to long-term memory. So here you'd write it in. I could type it in. Yes, studies have showed you could type it in, but you're basically looking at the keyboard. When you're writing it in, it's a different connection with the mind. don't look at me. I take these other classes, how to be an effective manager and effective presenter in marketing. That's why it's underneath the psychology department, marketing management. It's all about people. How do you get people to do things? How do you get people to buy in? How do you get people to work for you? How do you get people to come to your business? That's what you're going to learn about. And now you're in HR. You're going for your HR. HR is the one that's coming up. Here's the policies to make us feel warm and fuzzy. Here's the policies if you do something wrong. Here's how I go out there, and here's what kind of employee I'm looking. Here's the culture I'm looking for. Here's what I'm looking for the individual. If I'm looking at what are their ethics, what are the rules? How do I test them? All that is what businesses are looking for, and you're at the front of this by being able to say, I first have to understand how me as a business individual thinks, and now you have to say how I could add added value. Okay, so that's out there for you. So let me just close that off. Okay, so you have all my mind maps, weekly. Now here's where you go. Okay, your virtual classrooms. You're going to click in here. Now the virtual classrooms are going into my, for lack of better, I'm using the Harper WebEx, because with Harper WebEx I have the ability, if you have accommodation for hearing, or if I talk fast or English is a second language, which is for me, you can see the written statements on there. So when I'm doing the discussions, when I do the recordings and everything else, when we do our virtual classrooms, you'll have that closed caption live. It's a pretty neat program. Now, I will be sending you weekly reminders. I sometimes will send it something back, not too often, and you'll find that in Blackboard Collaborate. I think I have a link on here anyway, and those are just from a Blackboard. If you need to meet with me to discuss something, I'll set up a thing in Blackboard Collaborate. You have a web camera, and we can meet. When you're in WebEx, when we're in those virtual classrooms, I will try to just do a quick overview, because I got all the YouTubes, you have to require them, and we'll just do some discussion. And this whole the virtual classroom will be just to understand the mechanics of how do I be a successful Harper student coming in. Since for many of you, this is the first time you're at Harper, this is the first time you're using this course management system, this is the first time, or for a longer time, you're coming back, and you got to get that mind rethinking again. All right, so I'll work with you. So you have all that, okay? So you have your discussion boards. Okay, now here's what's going to happen. Remember, these are all weekly. I do a one-stop shopping. So you could click in here in your weekly assignments. And remember, I'm in the instructor mode. You won't see any of this. You'll see this week when you click on there. And you also see we have a spring break. So you know how to plan your schedule ahead. This week you don't have to do any homework or anything else. But a lot of students like to catch up. Or if you're behind, it's nice to be ahead of the curve. Okay? So you're going to click into week 1. And I have everything you need in 1 week. What it's all this? Just worry about it. Just click into week 1. You go to your discussion. You're going to introduce yourself. I'm going to show you how to do that in a second. You're going to go into your weekly virtual classroom. All that's going to do is going to give you a link to WebEx and all the information. Once the class starts, February, let's see if this class starts, February 24th, the other class I'm teaching. Once the class starts February 24th, I will have your email, Harper emails. The only way you communicate with me, I will submit that into WebEx, and it'll send you a reminder. It'll send you a link into your Harper Gmail that here's the link. Okay, so you can just click on that. It makes it easy. You don't have to worry about a password. You'll be right into there. You'll need a web camera. You need either your, for these you need a web camera and a mic. So if you have a laptop, that's no problem. If you have a desktop, you could pick up, let me get this, you got a mic here, you can pick it up at Walmart, I think like $20 or something. And you go, oh, Dr. George, I'm trying to keep the cost out. Look, you're going to do HR, you're going to do virtual meetings, you're going to do that in a company. You're already doing this. Some of you already have the, what do you call it, the webcam and everything if you have a desktop. Or you could use your smartphone. I have students sometimes they're on the job and they want to get stuff done, and they say, I can't make the meeting because I'm working. I talk to my boss. It's only for an hour. So they will log in through this way, through the smartphone. They could still hear me and I could still see them. They may not see the screen. A little bit difficult, but it's manageable. Students been doing that. All right, so that's something to do. If you can't make the classroom, the way it's set up is if you can't make it, you could do a reflection paper. That means you have to look at, because all my the classrooms, the meetings are recorded. So if you miss it, you go back and you write a 2-page reflection paper. You look at the video and you say, here's what I learned out of this. You look at any kind of questions or anything else, and then you write a reflection paper, and I'll give you those points back to you according to the syllabi. Okay, I think it's like 25 points for every session. Remember, you would have to be coming to the class from 6 to 10 o'clock once the COVID-19's out. And maybe going down the road, you may have half online and half, a virtual for the first 2 hour, face-to-face, and later on they'll say, we'll do a virtual later on. I don't know. There's more flexibility. There's a lot of things going on. That's the interesting part about business. You have to be flexible. You don't want to be so rigid you can't change. That's mechanistic. That's what you're going to learn here. You want to be organic. Organic's like a flower. It's cold, I wither. It's nice, sunny, I grow. We want you to grow. That's why you're coming back here, okay? So you have that. You have My Lab. Whenever you see these links here, you could go directly. I just do this at one-stop shopping, okay? Now, your avatar, what I want you to do, if you look at here, I'm in here in the student mode. When you come into your Blackboard, you're going to have a silhouette. I want you to click on there, and then this is what this video show you, YouTube. You'll click on that blank silhouette, and you go in there, you go into settings, and it'll say update your avatar. Update a picture of yourself. Look, I know some people are going, I don't want to put a picture of myself. Put something that's professional. Some of you are doing something in LinkedIn. English is a second language, so some of the words I know, all right? And that's a social media. So if I want you to join my social group, business group, I basically, if you don't have your picture, I don't even delete. You should be able to have this. So I have a picture, like I'm in a suit and a tie, I look nice, that you're doing for a business professional. If you don't want to do that, then put up a picture of the Cubs or the Bears or whoever, you or the Bulls, whoever you want, or the, what do you call it, Black. I'm trying to hit them all. I also teach with sports marketing. So remember, something there that's different than just a blank silhouette that represents you. I'd rather have a picture of you. Yeah, we already know who you are, so let's do it. When I do the Outlook, emails, and everything else, it always has my face on there. It's another way of communicating virtually. The more contact, the more people see me, the more I have it, the more I'm open to them, the more they're willing to come into my business, okay? So you're going to have that, how to update that, my mind map, these are all links. Here's the PowerPoint, and you also get that from my lab. Later on, I'll go into that, chapter lectures. Okay, so I have everything I need in here. So let's go one thing in here. Now let's go in here, your weekly assignment. Now you're going to come into my lab homework assignment. You have an access pass. When I click on this, remember, it's going to take you in here. I have my lab in here someplace also in here that you could go out without coming into the weekly assignment. You're going to come in here. You could do a browser check to make sure everything is working out right there. My lab course management. This is your course home. When you I'm not going to go in here. I want you to experiment. I want you to go in. And when you click on there, you go in here and you'll see all the assignments that are already due. Look at the due date. The other thing you're going to go into the library. The library has videos. They have flashcards. They have a lot of information for you. So click on that other than the homework. But now what you want to do, you want to do all my assignments. Now there's two things. Here's the homework and here's the quizzes. It's split up. Some people want to do the homework and then do the quizzes. This is to accommodate people. That's how I want to take information. But if you're doing the homework, I got all the homework done, but then you forgot to do, excuse me, my coffee fell off. Good thing it's unbreakable. But those of you know I'm live. I don't do too much editing, just like you'd be in the classroom. So when you're doing the homework, that's all it shows you, the homework. Then you have to do the quiz. And so, now I do the quizzes on the due date. But if you go into all my assignments, let's see what we have in here. Okay, create a new window. And it's going to open this up. Hopefully, remember I'm in the student mode, so it has the assignment date. You see all the dates in here? These are the due dates you're looking for. 39, 39, 316, and you could click on them and you could do your homework. Now, these homework assignments, they're varying points. They'll transfer over. You get a one-time deal to do them. When you do these homework assignments, I want you to read the chapter. I want you to look at my YouTube. I want you to look at the mind maps, write any other notes. So when you're reading a chapter, look at my mind map, add notes to it. Remember, you're connecting those brains. You're bringing in new connections for you to remember. Any class you're taking, you try to learn the vocab. So when I'm talking to another business person, when I'm talking about a net versus growth, they already know what I'm talking about. When I'm talking about assets versus debt, they know what I'm talking about. All right. And when I talk about bonds and stocks, they understand that. And this is everything I'm going to be learning in this class. When I'm talking about contracts, they understand that. Okay. So far, so good. So you do the homework, one-time deal, and then you get the point. Now, when you do the exams are 2 times. You'll click on there to 60, I forgot how many points there were, 30 points, whatever it is. You got, there, 60 minutes. You have 2 tries. You do the first time, you go, I only got a B out of this, or I got so many. Click it. You have to do it the second time right off the bat. You can't come back. It's just the way it's set up. I'm giving you a break. And then the second time, it takes similar questions. It may have the same questions, but rearranges the answers because I'm pulling out of a pool, and then you have a second try. It's going to take the highest score, and that's what your grade's going to be. So if the first time you got a B and the second time you got a C, you're going to get the B. All right, so it gives you that opportunity. That's the time. All right, so now you can focus. So the homework, one-time deal. So you read it and you look at it, and it's a preparation. You have video, you have some little clips and bits, and you have some homework assignment. It's very interesting. It's to connect. Have you start remembering the concept. A lot of you already know a lot of business. You heard them. Now you could make all the connections. Okay, so you're coming in here. Okay, so I'm all done in here, and now I'm going back to homework and tests. Okay, let me go back into. Here we go. All right, I'm back into. Back in here. I'm just moving back. Remember, when I'm going in there, I'm in the publisher's site. So let me come in here where it says student site, here, Pearson's web support site. When you come in here, now remember, you're coming in here and you support, it gives you some information, students, it gives you things, you get homework, and then there's another one in here, My Lab, hang on a second. Oh, here you go. When you come in here, here's the ebook that you'll find that you purchase with that if you don't have the regular book, or you could buy the hard copy, loose leaf, I think they sell it on the site. Here's the multimedia library, look at the chapters, here's some business, and here's some other media share for business. So that's basically it. Now let me go real quickly. And I'm going to end this. I'm already a little bit longer than I wanted to, but if I look at my syllabi and we had the orientation, when you click at the syllabi, here's, let's look at the PDF. Open this up. You have my picture. You have everything else here. Here's the dates on here, right? Go through there. Here's how the points are broken, distributed. Let me go up here a little higher, okay? For the lab, points, canvas, everything, running total, information, look at it. It's a rubric. I'm just exposing you to it. Remember, this is the first time you come back. Don't freak out. It has to have a certain standard. You're taking these things for credit. It's the same credit if you'll be taking me for full face-to-face class or fully online class. Remember, this is a 7-week course. I teach this, or a 6-week course. We got spring break in here. I teach this class 8 weeks, which is a summer class. So just look at this as a perpetual summer class. All your classes like a summer class, unless you take me for finance. I think they give you a little bit more time because it's a little bit harder subject matter, but you get it done in a shorter period of time. Okay, and I teach in a 14-week or a 16-week format. Okay, so you have all that. This is all information. A lot of help, a lot of assistance. Open this up. You got the links. You just click it on there. If you're in the when you download it, you don't have to worry about getting the link. You're basically doing about 3 chapters a week. So you do the chapters, then you do the homework, then you do the quizzes, and then you come back every Wednesday. We talk about it, and I'll try to get you settled. I know I'm doing a lot. You have this. Here's the dates, and then everything else in here. and here's a Gmail for link. This is basically your WebEx meeting every Wednesday. I don't think you're going to need it. You go directly in here, and I'm going to send it to you into your link in WebEx. I'll create that. All right. So that's about it. Once again, welcome to this journey. I know I talk quickly, slow down a little bit, but I just wanted to thank you again for signing up. Don't be intimidated. Remember, you saw my bio. I started off the same way. We all start off. I will work with you. Don't be too intimidated about the technology. I will work with you. I'm a plug and play guy. We will get through this. This first week, this is the first class. I will be very helpful and supportive. I'm always helpful and supportive. If you have any kind of problems or any kind of issues, either with myself or instructors down the road, make sure you contact Maggie. She is the coordinator, and she basically is your advocate. She is like your HR rep that you're going to. You talk to her, she'll say, I got this student problem, and she'll try to find a solution. That's basically what you're going to be doing. You're a people's person. You're going for HR. You're a certificate, hopefully down the road, for your associate degree. You're in that. You just want the academic credentials on that. And that's why you're going there. Or this may be a new avenue, or a new, what do you call it, a new discipline you want to go into. So HR, basically, you're listening to people, you're talking to people, you're helping people. You're that bridge between the company and your employees. Your hourly employees and your salary employees, basically your management and everything else. You're that bridge. Okay? All right. So welcome. And again, my name is Dr. George Mochocki. And just go in here, play around when it's open. And then when we have our first discussion, if you have any questions, bring it up at that time. Okay, let's see how long I am. 25 minutes. Went a little longer than I wanted to, but it is what it is. Thank you very much.